If you don't already own the Word Biblical Commentary, here's why you'll want to own it in accordance today. The Word Biblical Commentary is a massive set of commentaries that is well respected and well reviewed on bestcommentaries.com. It contains trusted scholarship and it is an in depth technical exegetical commentary that's going to provide you with a wealth of exegetical material. One can add the Word Biblical Commentary as a parallel pane in line with their favorite Bible translation, so scrolling through their Bible translation will also sync the commentary. But even better than that, I can go to a biblical passage, and then I can select the biblical passage, hold down the Option key, and then amplify to the Word Biblical Commentary. And have it open in its own zone so that if I then scroll through the commentary, then I'm able to have it sync with my preferred Bible. And as you can see, the Word Biblical Commentary offers rich discussion and exegesis of every biblical passage. So if I'm a pastor that's preparing a sermon and I really need some in-depth exegesis on the passage, I'm going to turn to the Word Biblical Commentary and its trusted scholarship. If I'm a student that's writing an exegetical paper, or if I'm a scholar that's engaged in in-depth research and need to exegete a biblical passage, this is the commentary I'm going to turn to. If I'm a Bible study leader teaching a Sunday school class or a Bible study, and I want to take my studying of a biblical passage much further than your typical devotional or even application commentaries, this rich exegetical commentary is going to allow me to really wade into the deep end and mine the riches of this commentary. And as I scroll up in the commentary, and there is so much rich, in-depth discussion here in this commentary with all this rich explanation. But as we see here, I can select a biblical word in the passage, and I can even triple click on the word, and then it's going to open up in my preferred lexicon, in this case, BDAG. So I can perform in-depth word studies on any Greek or Hebrew word in the Word Biblical Commentary with just a few clicks right here in Accordance. And after scrolling through all of the rich, in-depth discussion in this passage, as you can see, there is plenty of it that you can mine and enjoy the riches in this commentary. It's a verse-by-verse exegesis of each passage. We have sections such as this form and structure section of each pericope in the scripture, which is super beneficial if you're writing that exegetical paper, or if you're preaching a sermon and need to see how the structure of the passage is, or even in your Greek exegesis classes. This comes in handy as you think through your text flow diagrams and need to see how this passage is structured. One of my favorite features in the Word Biblical Commentary, and one that I used quite frequently in seminary, is the textual notes section. Instead of you having to wade through each apparatus and having to try to decipher the meaning of each apparatus, which if you want to do that, we have all those rich tools available in Accordance. But what I love about the Word Biblical Commentary is they do the work for you, and they're going through those textual apparatus tools, and they're pulling out the most relevant text-critical information and putting it into a very easy to understand, digestible, and practical way that you can look at this information at a glance and be able to mine those riches and be able to have this right at your fingertips. I absolutely love this feature and use it quite frequently in my Greek exegesis classes. Plus, the Word Biblical Commentary will also provide a translation of the passage, as well as these rich, in-depth bibliographies of each section, so you can see where they performed the research, and if you need to take any of their research further, then you can do that as well in the Word Biblical Commentary. Maybe I want to cite this in my exegetical paper, or if I want to put it in my sermon. Well, I can just right-click on this paragraph after I've selected it, and I can click Copy as Citation. and then I can just open a word processor and paste it in. It's going to paste in my citation, and it's even going to give me the footnoting automatically. And this is super beneficial, so I don't have to sit there and try to figure out my footnoting in my exegetical paper, or even if I wanted to put that in a sermon. And in Accordance, we have all sorts of rich bibliographic citation styles to choose from. All the main ones, Turabian, SBL, APA, Chicago, they're all there. In addition to being able to cite this in a particular passage, I can open the table of contents and I can go to any particular book of the Bible that I want to. So for example, if I go to the introduction here, I can get some background information on my biblical passage and see, for example, the recipients of the passage, as well as the authorship of the passage as well, and be able to read the rich in-depth discussions there. I can see the purpose of the book and be able to read this background material and be able to see the formal and theological coherence, for example, here of the book of Romans. So what is its theological value and the literary analysis? And, for example, Romans includes a great discussion on the new perspective on Paul as well, which is very useful to have that rich discussion right here in this commentary on the book of Romans. So if I'm preparing an exegetical paper and I need to perform a background study on my passage, I can come to the Word Biblical Commentary, so I can do everything in this one volume. I not only can get all my rich exegetical material for verse-by-verse analysis, but that background material is also available there. Or if I'm a pastor that's needing to perform a background study on an expository message, I can again come to the Word Biblical Commentary. It's all right here at my fingertips. Plus, in the Word Biblical Commentary, I can search the table of contents as well. So anywhere in the New Testament that I would want to see where faith is mentioned, I can type in faith, and it's going to show me all the main headings in the different commentary volumes and allow me to just drill right down on one. So, for example, here I can read this discussion in the Gospel of John on the demand for faith and be able to get some additional exegesis there. With the Word Biblical Commentary in Accordance, it is fully searchable as well across numerous fields. So I can search Greek, Hebrew, scriptures, transliterations. I can search the bibliographies, page numbers, certain authors, all this rich material that I need to. So, for example, I could do an English search, and if I wanted to do a search on faith as well, then I can do that and go through the commentary and see every hit where the word faith is mentioned. Another great feature of the Word Biblical Commentary in Accordance is that even though it comes in two modules, one for the Old Testament and one for the New Testament, both of them can be linked together and cross-hyperlinked. If we go under Add Parallel and under Combined Resources and Manage Combined Resources, usually by default when you purchase the Word Biblical Commentary, it will automatically link the two sets together in a combined resource so that it will allow you to work across the Old and New Testament and treat it as one big module instead of two separate modules. So we have that great feature as well. And finally, the biggest benefit of having the Word Biblical Commentary in Accordance is it will go with you wherever you go. So if you're using Accordance on your desktop computer in your office, you've got your Word Biblical Commentary there. I'm running it here on my notebook, so as long as I'm taking my MacBook Air with me anywhere, I have my Word Biblical Commentary. Accordance also runs on Windows, so if you got a Windows PC somewhere, you can run it there. And the Word Biblical Commentary also runs on mobile, on your iPhone or your iPad or an Android device. So I can access my Word Biblical Commentary everywhere. For example, right here on my iPad, or even in my pocket on my iPhone. Try putting the Word Biblical Commentary in print in your pocket. Pretty much impossible for you to do that. But with Accordance, your Word Biblical Commentary is literally in your pocket wherever you go, and even works if you don't have cell service. So I can be up on a mountain with no cell service and still enjoy my Word Biblical Commentary anywhere and enjoy the riches that this commentary has to offer. This is one of my favorite commentaries in Accordance, and one I've turned to time and time again in seminary. If you're a pastor that needs in-depth exegesis for that sermon preparation, especially for those expository messages. If you're a student in seminary and you're writing a exegetical paper, or you're involved in Greek or Hebrew exegesis classes, if you're the scholar that needs trusted scholarship on biblical passages, this is the commentary for you. The Word Biblical Commentary is one of the best commentaries available on the market, and owning it in Accordance is the best way to take full advantage of this rich, in-depth exegetical commentary. And if you don't already own it, we highly recommend you pick it up today.